the last thing that I want to cover is the Conman calculation. And basically what that's doing is it's allowing you to look at historical usage and or future demand forecast requirements for a part. It's using MRP in that case. So we're either looking at what we used or we're looking at what we project to use using a forecasting or sales orders that are driving requirements for the future. MRP is running, master planning. It's going out and creating planned requirements for that particular item. The Conman quantity calculation is looking at the lead time and performing basically a calculation based on that lead time to say, this is how many that I need for this particular period that you set for that particular type of item. And then once you've looked at that Conman quantity calculation, you can say, well, that's good. Go ahead and update the Conman quantity so it'll update the quantity on the rule, and from then on, it'll tell you only need that many Conmans in your inventory. Okay, so we're going to go to the production control, and we're going to go to Conman quantity calculation. And I actually had run this, and so basically what it's saying now is that for that item, when we looked at that rule earlier, we'll go ahead and pop back out to that Conman rule again just to look at that again. So right now it's saying the fixed Conman quantity for that rule is 4. And based on this calculation, when I calculated it, it went out and said that I only need 3. Now, we'll go ahead and view the rule, and then we'll go look at the calculation as well. So this is the policy that one's based on. And that policy, basically this is the formula that the system's using to calculate that quantity. So average daily demand times lead time divided by a product per quantity per handling unit. Now that's based on the setting that I put in here. If I start changing things, then it'll actually update my rule to reflect that when it's calculated. So I don't have any safety stock in the way I calculate it this time, but I could. And then do I want to look days behind, which would look at historical usage, or do I want to look at days ahead, which is going to look at planned requirements for the future? So by integrating this into your master planning, it really eliminates what I see so many companies doing with their spreadsheets trying to update and calculate their Conman quantities. It really it integrates it with the ERP system and keeps them from having all those external systems and the time-consuming, or what I see so often is, well, when's the last time you calculated your Conman quantities? Oh, it was 6 months ago. Well, has your demand changed? Are you running out of parts? Yeah, we are. So this tool really does a good job of helping give you an easy way to run this periodically and calculate what your Conman sizes ought to be. So I hope that gave you a good overview of Lean in AX 2012. And you know, as I've mentioned, we can show you a detailed demo of any of the pieces that we didn't see today, or if you want to dive into some of the pieces we showed today in greater detail, we'd be glad to do that. Mike, are you there?
I am here, and
all right.
We've had quite a few people in the audience today, so there's really no organized way that I can, really open it up for comments and that kind of thing. So, like I mentioned, I will circle back to you. But you can see here in the eBECS statement of direction that basically eBECS is out in the lean manufacturing world every day. We're either helping other partners sell the product and then help them implement the lean functionality, or else we're out chasing our own opportunities and doing the same. So because we're out there all the time, we're seeing what the true need of the market is, and what we're doing is working with Microsoft on their schedule, and then where appropriate, we're coming up with modules or extensions that add lean process support capability options for the customers. So these are obviously some of the things that we've either already delivered to customers or things that we're actually building We actually do this on a pull basis, by the way. So we don't try to we try not to invent things in the closet in a vacuum. We look for extension components that people will really use in the real world, and then we build that way. So anyway, that's what we're doing. John, if you can go to the next slide. And we'll just skip this one, but if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, and essentially, a big part of the value proposition that we bring to any discussion is people like John. It is the people, and it is what they know. Lean thinking is not something you go out and read a book about, or take a class on for 2 weeks and then come back and you're real conversant with a lean team at a customer. It's the type of thing that somebody has to really marinate in for a long period of time, sometimes more than a year, go through some transformation so they really understand what's going on, and at that point they can engage with the lean team at a real business and talk intelligently about mixing the different types of items and just all the other different things they need to talk about. So that's a big part of the value we bring to these discussions. But what I will do probably next week will be to follow up with each of you, and if there's interest, you can just tell me, and at that point what we'll do is we'll set up a conference call, probably about an hour, with your lean team, go through what it is that you've done, where it is you're going, and then we do that with the idea that if there's real value there, that we would come back and do a demonstration of what you need. And that way you have a real clear picture of how AX can support the processes that have really resulted from your lean transformation. And you've got my contact information there, so feel free to contact me if you have any questions. And we thank you very much for coming today and being part of our webinar.